Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Google Ads Mastermind podcast, as well as the Schmelebeck YouTube channel if you're watching this online. Today, I just wanted to kind of talk about the psychology of Google Ads. I saw this great video from my mentor and my old people I used to work with, Qasim from Solutions 8. He just talked about this actually this week, and it kind of inspired me to think more about Google Ads and how do people even think that they can use Google Ads if they're, an e-com brand owner, if they're a physical business, if they're a SaaS owner, as well as the flip side of that, how to then think consumers use Google Ads and then align that with your marketing strategy. I think Google is often misunderstood, especially the PPC side. It's not like Facebook. It's not as fast. You can't scale it as aggressively, aside from YouTube, maybe. I think YouTube definitely is the cheat code to scaling right now. If you can, if you have good creatives and you have really good audiences and you have a lot of money to spend at first to really get going. But I think people have mixed feelings about Google. I think it's not the pretty child like Facebook is. It's a lot easier to use Facebook. I know people are going to say, "Oh, I don't know anything about Facebook," which true. I don't know much about Facebook. I just know every time either a client comes to me or talking to other people, PPC industry people, both Facebook and Google, everyone says Google's harder. Why? It's just a lot more to go at, and it's not just a simple, creative, throw it in an audience and see if it performs. There's a lot more psychology, I think, behind Google from the consumer side of things. Google is the internet at this point. Qasim from Solutions 8 has a great course as well, talking about this, and this whole first kind of module is Google is God. And again, that's from an earlier video I covered as well. But Google really is God in 2021, going to be in 2022 and next month. They know everything about you, everything you want, everything you do on a daily basis. How fast you drive, where you go, what your schedule is like, what you buy on a daily, monthly occurrence. And they use that to then show ads to you. And that's where people like me and for my clients, we make a lot of money since that's what we do. And I think from the consumer side of things, you need to always remember that when you're creating campaigns, if it's search, discovery, display, YouTube, shopping, even local campaigns now, I definitely think that's an often misinterpreted and misunderstood part of Google Ads. Is you're not just throwing up a quick search campaign trying to get people to buy your stuff right away, or just throwing up a smart shopping campaign and hoping people buy. You need to fully formulate what your goals are, how many campaigns you're going to need to associate and address each stage of the buying funnel. I know everyone has their own opinions and kind of ideas of what a buying funnel is. I definitely think it's less than what people often think. I think there's only really two main parts of the funnel, and then a post or marketing part where, if you're a SaaS, you have a free trial, you need to get them back if they don't convert. Or if you're an e-commerce product, you get that one purchase, but you need to get more purchases. You don't just be a one time and that's it. I think it's pretty much people are aware and interested, and then they're going to buy, right? I think that's pretty simple and straightforward, and that's how I try to view all my campaigns for all my clients. I love I think my favorite part of having a new client to go with, or even existing clients, is that on a weekly and monthly basis, I have to keep thinking, how can I restructure this account? What campaigns can I add? What campaigns can I remove to really make the buying funnel whole process just streamlined for a prospect for any of my clients? I think that's where people need to start realizing how Google is so powerful. It's not like Facebook where you kind of just throw it at the wall and see what sticks. It's not. I think you can have a whole campaign strategy and account strategy that you can really allow people to go from one campaign to another and nurture them along through that buying process. Often for, let's just say, an e-commerce account, one of my favorite ways to do that is, smart shopping is pretty much all stages of the funnel, since they do, dynamic prospecting, then they do remarketing if you're interested in a product through that dynamic remarketing code and all kind of stuff. But I think you can aid that with supplementary campaigns, and I learned that from John Moran, to kind of how to view your campaign structure. And I think a major part of that is adding either some search campaigns that are more looser. Since November of last year, I've been a really big fan of that whole bra match with smart bidding update. I would rather do max conversions and then switch to a TCPA or TROAS if possible. But I think there's ways to nurture someone along your kind of overall marketing strategy. Get them in through smart shopping or, a search campaign, and then kind of see how can you get them back to the site. Can you really segment them in remarketing? Can you offer, a good deal on a first time purchase or a bundled purchase? I know you gotta be careful with your brand identity and not discounting too much where they will never buy again if they don't see another discount. That's definitely a valid concern, and it happens a lot. Right now, since it is post Black Friday or Monday, a lot of clients, a lot of people just around the whole marketing sphere worried, right? I mean, you have a really great weekend and then a lot of stuff drops off. If you can maintain performance and then kind of get back right into the swing of things for the holiday season in the next couple of weeks, that's great. But a lot of people don't because they over leverage themselves and spend too much, and then Google is trying to find that magic cure again and trying to get all those conversions and conversion value that you're wanting from them. And I think that leads me to my next point in terms of what Google is. It is a learning algorithm, and that's the beauty of tracking conversions and conversion value inside Google Ads. It allows you to have different bidding strategies in place for that. And it also allows you to kind of have different goals for each campaign or strategy that you want. If a certain campaign you really want purchases of a product, but you don't care about making back, maybe it's the first overall purchase and you just know, hey, 1-to-1, I need them in the door and I can sell them hard on email marketing or whatever you want to do later in the line. That's a good goal, and Google will work with you with that. But I think people expect Google in the first day, first week, first month, even for some people, to be 300-400% ROAS, and you're profitable and you can scale to the moon, right? But it's not. I think I've had the only clients that whoever come to me that I can actually scale in that month one at a profitable, a good scaling point is if they've already been running campaigns and they just don't know what they're doing and they're spending $5 to $20K a month, but it's not optimized. They kind of just push money at it because they know more is coming in, but they don't know how well. And that's a great position to be in because you don't have someone who's trained to actually look at what they're, what the data is coming back in and how to leverage that, right? But if you're just starting out, I do require new clients to spend about $10,000 a month. I actually, if you're a new person just starting Google Ads and you're spending, 30, 50, 100K a month on Facebook, take it slow. Don't divide half your budget and put, of your 50K overall marketing budget, put 25 and 25. That doesn't make sense. Especially when you're a brand new account. It does take time to learn, especially with the new conversion actions they purchase. You need one to make sure it's firing correctly. Lately, with enhanced conversions and duplicate tracking, it's been an issue for actually a lot of people I've talked to. So you want to make sure that's tracking properly, just so your conversion value bidding strategies are good to go and you're not tracking improperly there. And then you need to allow time to learn. I think that's the main thing I always try to talk to people about is, and again, I learned this from John Moran, smart shopping, especially for e-commerce clients, it does take time. I always like to say 45 days, 30 to 45 days, depending on what your spend is at and how big your overall, your store is, how many SKUs you have. If we can segment campaigns by categories or how people shop or profit margins, then it speeds up the learning process. But Google is a self-learning algorithm. So if it's trying to get you something, your goal, whatever it be a ROAS or just overall conversions, you need to give Google time to learn. There's 40 to 70 million signals that everyone has, according to Google, which I don't doubt with the overall amount of data they have on every single person on the world right now. But I think you just need to give it time to learn. I think people have fast expectations for Google. And again, you can certainly strike gold and then be in the first day, first couple of weeks, very, very profitable, and you're just start scaling. However, that's not the case. I often say pick one, scale, or become more profitable. I should rephrase that as either do you want more volume or do you want to be more profitable? And no, you can't have both. It does happen from time to time if we do scale slightly, like 10, 15% month over month. We can become more profitable, but again, that's not a guaranteed thing. And I always tell clients either we're gonna do one thing or the other, get that goal, and then see and adjust where we need to go for the next couple months. again, I think I'm going to start wrapping it up, but I do think us as PPC advertisers or a business owner trying to do their Google ads, start thinking when you're planning your campaigns. Don't just put one out there and hope for the best and kind of evaluate a week, 2 weeks down the line. Again, you need that time for learning and actually have data in the account to then make decisions off of. But when you're planning stuff, think of how your consumer and potential clients or customers, whatever, how they come through your brand. You should know who they are, what they want, what their avatar like digital marketer always says. But then from there, look at your data, look at Google Analytics, look at their kind of overall, how do they come to your site? Where do they go on their site? Or how many visits they have? What's the average session duration? Do they come back? How often? What devices? Where are they located? It's just all that kind of stuff that you don't need to memorize, right? But just take a look and then critically think in Google Ads side, how can I create campaigns that are good for that? How can I leverage that data I have already, either if it's inside Klaviyo, Facebook, Google Analytics, which all of you better have Google Analytics. That's the easiest thing to do. Take that and then formulate, actually critical think, how can I have different campaigns at different sections of the buying funnel and leverage the data I already have to then get more data and become more profitable and scale your account. So I think that's going to do it here, but I just wanted to have a quick discussion about how I view the psychology of Google Ads. I'll hope you take a look at Solutions 8's video. Qasim, he did a great video. I'll probably link in the description if you're on YouTube. Thank you again, and I'll be back very soon for the next edition of the Google Ads Mastermind podcast, and as well as here on YouTube. So thank you, everyone, and have a great day.